Hey everybody, this is Linda Light. I'm coming to you during the Lionsgate portal, and I have a message that has everything to do with you reclaiming your own personal sovereignty and your own personal power during these times. Because these are times where people are reaching incredible heights in their own spiritual growth, in their own evolution, and in their own personal ascension to hold more light within themselves. And it's really about the soul light that you're bringing into your body, that you're expressing through this vessel. Treat your body like a pet. This came through in a couple readings that I've been doing, and trying to understand that you are not your body during these times is going to be really helpful. Look at your body as the car that you're using to navigate. Your soul is using your body like a car to navigate 3D world, 3D life, 3D reality. So if you're upgrading from 3D to 5D and you're bringing your body with you, this will help explain the process that's going on as you're bringing in more light. And there's crystallizations going on in your body. There's things that are triggering you to release old stuff you don't need anymore. As this is all happening, as all these astrological alignments and energy pulses coming from the sun, all these things are happening, it's the force of the universe working and conspiring to help uplift you as a species, as a being, into the next phase of evolution. So if it happened all overnight, it would blow a lot of people's minds. It would be too much for a lot of people to handle. And so we have this process. And in this process, it may not be the most comfortable, because a lot of times you don't remember things until after you purge, release, new comes in, and then you're triggered to remember some more of the things that you forgot during this life. And that's okay. Everybody's got their own divine time. And when their personalized blueprints, which we call now gold prints, when your personalized gold prints hits a certain level of light frequency, it gives off a tone, just like any other anything vibrating or oscillating. Something that's vibrating gives off a frequency that creates a sound and a tone. So your energetic frequency triggers by way of sound, triggers its own activations. They're self-initiating activations that every human gets to go through. So your galactic consciousness might respond to a sound activation where your body is up-leveling, because now you can hold in more light, and that sound is unique to you. So it's like your own call system. And you're calling in more of your soul frequencies during times like the Lionsgate. When they say the Lionsgate portal is open, you have until 8/8, you have until the 12th, or whatever dates. It's okay. It's just that it's more potent of a time to utilize the fiery energies of the sun being in Leo. And at the time where the 3 stars in Orion's belt lines up with the pyramids in Egypt. There's the Lyran star system has a lot to do with the future evolution of humanity. It's a part of a lot of people in the star seed programs who are bringing forth the hybrid through their DNA and their gold prints, their blueprints, their genetic codes. There are certain star families that have Andromeda or Pleiadian or Octarian, or there's so many different types out there, and they've all been mixed and spliced and diced. And there's been a lot of experiments that we're gonna find out and be like, yo, really? Come on. Taking this a little far, huh? So at a certain point, we say enough is enough, and humanity says, we deserve to know who and what we are, and hence the reveal of disclosures and truth to humanity. In order for graduation, you have to have truth. It's just like informed consent. You can't consent to something you're not informed about. Makes sense, right? But as long as people get away with bossing you around and being your slave master, and you're not asking questions or presenting a fight or even a healthy debate, then how can you be playing the game with them if they keep getting away with telling you what you can and can't do, and you just listen and accept it? Like, you have to get to a point where you stand in your own honor, your own walk of, divine, take control of your own personal energetic fields. It's your own jurisdictions. Land, air, and water, guys. Like, the fire within is your spirit. So when you know what that is, people, places, things, mandates, orders, whatever, they can't tell you what you can and can't do, as long as you're not interfering with somebody else, as long as there's no victim to the supposed crime you're committing. You're doing, first do no harm. So we as humans are ascending to understand universal principles and laws, to understand what our divine birthright, our birthright heritage is all about. And as these disclosures come more mainstream, become more online, our online abilities to discern by using our internal North Star, our internal compass, our internal guidance system, the more that we attune to that and align to that, the more vertical our infinity gets. When you click that into a vertical from a horizontal position, it clicks in, you're getting your source from creator source. It's a personal wellspring that we use. I talk about this actually in my most recent episode of Sacred Warrior Space podcast. It's episode 16. And I talk about this just a little bit, about the infinity clicking from horizontal to vertical. This is where we're all going. This is when our tree of life starts to bloom. The fruits on the trees. There's low-hanging fruits. Low-hanging fruits could be anything like developing your sixth sense. Oh, my intuition was right about that. That's a low-hanging fruit. Telepathy, clairvoyance, clairaudience, low-hanging fruit. But if you stay in the center of the tree and you work your way up, you want to forego all the fruit on the sides of the trees. You could take time on each branch and learn or remember to, how this particular gift works or how this gift works, but you want to keep going up to the taproot, to the very center of the tree, to the tallest part, so that you can incorporate your soul within your human body. And that is an up-leveling, for lack of better words. It's a quantum leap in human consciousness. It's an evolution of where the human being is actually going, which is human luminous. It's a whole change in the evolution of what the human species is. So it's pretty incredible. And if you haven't gotten to know thyself yet, it would be a good time. I also talk about this in Sacred Warrior Space podcast, episode 16. So getting to know yourself, going back to the basics, the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s of knowing. How do you know yourself? How do you know yourself? By knowing what thoughts are yours, which ones you're generating, and which ones are not yours, which are coming from the outside that you're picking up. So getting to know yourself is also exploring the gift of telepathy. You're starting to get to know what signals you generate and what signals you're picking up. So every thought that goes through your head is not yours, if you don't know that yet. Spoiler alert. In fact, most of your thoughts are not yours before you realize this, because you start to generate this knowing how to read signals, how to read light signals, and you can actually breathe in your thoughts, because you can block out signals that are not serving your highest good, and you can set your basically your security line defense. You can set up security defense so that any frequency that's vibrating at less than like 7th dimensional or or lower cannot get in and interfere with you. So this really helps when you have new people in your tribe or your family or whoever that are just starting to come online and they're practicing telepathy, or they had a session with you. If you do session work, they had a session with you and they feel like they're your best friend because they were just working with you. So they're sending you signals because they look up to you this way. And it's like they don't realize, if you don't set your security defense to filter that out, then you're going to get bombarded with people that obsess over things like the thoughts that go through their heads are like, just text me now, prove that this works, you know, and they're sending these like desperation telepathy, hoping that somebody will just respond in a real way, like on their phone with a text message or something, instead of trying to work out what the telepathy really means, you know, how that's related to their internal communications with their soul, their throat chakra, their internal communications with their using their higher self to connect with their soul. And that's really what they're looking for, not necessarily a telepathic communication with somebody that they bug over and over and over and over again with obsessive thoughts. So you have to set your security line defense with your guides, with your protectors, with your highest level protection fields. And you have to work it as a team to set up your security so that nothing that vibrates under 7th dimensional frequency, nothing can get in. Unless, you know, maybe they go through your higher self first. So anything that's important that comes to you will be coming from your higher self. And when you set those boundaries up for yourself, you'll see with those protocols established, you'll see a lot more peace on the inside because you filter out all the unnecessary, I don't want to say junk thoughts, but let's just say busy thoughts that most people have during the day that are just like the noise of a machine, you know? So very mechanical, busy thoughts. No, thank you. And once you get rid of those thoughts, then you open up the room. You can hear the music of nature. You can hear the music of different kingdoms, especially like you really want to tune in to the squirrels or the birds or the plants that you're growing. You'll have a lot more room to be able to hear their frequencies and communicate back or try to communicate back. You have to shift a little to communicate on those levels, but you know, trying to reestablish connections to kingdoms where you were one before and remembering how that communication works. That's all part of knowing thyself. It's remembering what you forgot. I'll say it 100 times and then I'll say it again. During this Lionsgate portal, you can remember what you forgot in this body so much faster, so much easier, because everything's lined up to just open up for you if you are looking for that. This is a great time, and they say like no better time than the present. No better time than the present to get to know thyself. To call out, actively call out for your soul to make that connection if you haven't done so yet. And just trust your soul to lead the journey for you. Trust your soul. Trusting your soul is all there is right now. Your soul is connected to the Creator. You don't need, I mean, you have your intermediary, you have your higher self, your Christed being, and you have your, well, you have to get all of your dimensional selves to play on the same team to be considered one with them, so that you could say you are a whole soul, a whole being. Otherwise you're fragmented and you'll still have beings outside of yourself. And when you're a whole being, everything has been merged back into yourself. All the pieces have come back to work together as a team, to ascend the human body in this dimensional space. Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of souls on missions right now, and I think a lot of the people that are down here weren't expecting the lonely factor, but they get it done. They're work dogs, they're workhorses, and they get it done because that is what the mission is get her done. And this is the life for that. This is the get her done life. So during this Lion's Gate portal, get to know thyself. If you haven't already, set your security defense for 7D and higher so that nothing interferes unless it's through your higher self. Reestablish connection with your soul by calling out for your soul. This is an important time. And starting yourself out in the right direction is a very good way to reestablish contact with your soul. And for those of you out there who might stumble across this, who are wondering if they even have a soul, keep wondering. Keep searching. Keep searching. If you really aren't sure if you have a soul or not, I'd say the most important thing you can do is to get to know thyself and to get to know who your highest self is, who your team is, who your guides and internal beings that you communicate with. Who are they? Where are they from? And let them show you proof. Let them give you proof so that you can actively find your soul together, so that you can repiece yourself and become that whole being that you came here to be, or whatever other mission you might have. Again, I am Linda Light. Thank you for tuning in. Remember, just be a little bit better today than you were yesterday, and take full advantage of this Lion's Gate energy while the gates are open, while the portal's open. Go for it. See you next time. Bye.